but it is also my duty as a patriotic citizen to keep this government to account. And since the young people have been called up to be persons of integrity, we are taking up the civic education and also accountability in governance.
What made you want to start doing this? And we're talking about you going into places that the government has initiated projects.
Launched.
Sometimes
when Malay Foundation stones.
Yeah, there's a plaque there.
And
then you go back a week or two later or a month later.
Years later.
Hakuna kitu. What made you do that?
Well, first, in the height of the Gen Z demonstrations, I really had high expectations in the president in terms of how much change we were going to get as a country. When the president came on TV and said he will mobilize all security apparatus of the country and that these are criminals and anarchists, I was so disappointed. I did a video wearing a kaunda, speaking like the president, and saying this is the speech that we expected from a president. And that speech went viral. I got over 1 million views on TikTok. So I was surprised that the president actually did some of the things that I said in that speech. For example, I had talked about the resignation of the Inspector General because I knew the president has no powers to fire the Inspector General. But I also know that most of these independent officers, they usually are appointed with a resignation letter without a date. And then I knew that he will release his cabinet. What I didn't expect is the turnaround of events. I felt like he betrayed us and that he let us down because for 3 minutes we had change and suddenly we didn't have it anymore. We expected a trimmed down cabinet because he had a cabinet of 22 people, and we expected that probably he would have merged some ministries into others. For example, the Ministry of East Africa and Community Affairs, I would have expected to be merged into the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I had the expectation that he would merge the Ministry of Environment with the Ministry of Water and Sanitation. I had the expectation that the State Department for ESALs will go back to the Treasury and Economic Planning. I expected that he would disband the Ministry of Public Service and just leave that work to the Public Service Commission, Judicial Service Commission, Parliamentary Service Commission, and Head of Civil Service. I was extremely disappointed beginning with the appointments that he made. The president has been disappointing me without end. He also promised that there will be no harambes for public servants. The next weekend, he was the one doing a harambe in church.